I'm going to explain why you absolutely need a mentor to successfully navigate and advance your product management career. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex. On this channel, we talk about product management, how to get into the career, how to advance your career, how to become a better PM. By the end of this video, you're going to be inspired to go out and get yourself a mentor and a coach to help you with your product management career. And I'll also share a few tips on how to best leverage such relationships to meaningfully advance your career. If you have specific questions relating to your career, where you are, where you need to go, please make sure to drop them in the comments below. I've helped many people advance their careers, get into product management, get into specific companies, and I'd be very glad to help you as well. So leave your comments below. Just like with nutrition or fitness or any other meaningful skill, having a dedicated trainer and a coach can make a huge difference in the speed with which you attain what you want and also whether you attain it at all. If you've ever had a personal trainer of any kind or somebody to teach you piano or even just help you with math, you understand the difference that it can make. Think of a professional athlete and how many coaches and trainers and mentors they each have. Product management career at the highest levels can be very similar to that career. Certainly not as demanding on your body, although sometimes it is, but extremely demanding nonetheless. And in order to navigate all the different nuances of building product and simultaneously advancing your career, you need to have an experienced coach and mentor by your side. The reality is you also don't know your own blind spots, the very popular unknown unknowns. You just don't know what you don't do very well. You don't see yourself. You don't interact with yourself. You are yourself. So you're just sort of forced in that point of view, and just by that very fact, you're unable to optimally improve the same way that you would if you were watching yourself perform from an outsider's perspective. This same rule applies to pretty much anything. Think of any skill that you want to learn. Most of them, you'll be able to do it better if you have somebody dedicated that knows the path through, knows the optimal way of learning, and can tailor the training to your specific situation, plus all the best practices that they've accumulated during their coaching, mentorship, and product careers. It is also nearly impossible to escape the echo chamber of most product teams, companies, organizations. When you're in there, you don't know that you are usually reflecting back what you see, what you experience. It's similar to not knowing your own blind spots, but this is like not knowing your organizational blind spots. So if you have a mentor that's in your team, they're going to be susceptible to this as well. So ideally, you pick a coach outside of your team. If it's in your company, then outside of your org, ideally, but someone that knows the organization, knows enough specifics about your role, but is not directly working with them so that they're not subject to the same echo chamber that everybody else may be. It's just hard to tell truth from fiction. You don't know whether you're actually moving forward in the right direction or whether it's just a perception of it. And an outsider's perspective, one that's aligned with your best interests, is the best way to understand whether you're actually moving forward or just a perception of moving forward. Accountability. This is another big one. Accountability. You're accountable to no one. So a lot of our careers just sort of languish there on autopilot. There's not much happening because, well, you're just accountable to yourself. So at the worst case, you'll just let yourself go. You'll give yourself a break. When you're accountable to somebody else, that changes the dynamic. And now you actually have to deliver what you said. So now, if you have an issue with organization, or you have an issue with delivery, or you have an issue where you are delivering to yourself, or quite honestly, you're lying to yourself consistently, so much so that in fact you no longer trust yourself, that's another area where an accountable coach or an accountable mentor can help. I wish I personally hired a mentor or coach when I first got started or in the middle of my career, because the reality is as you go deeper and deeper in, you sort of have this added weight where you feel like you're too advanced now to actually get mentorship and coaching, which is again ridiculous if you think back to the analogy that we did with athletes. At the highest level, you get more coaching, more mentorship, more training, not less. The same thing with a lot of directors and executive positions in product management. You get more assistance, more coaching as you go up in the career path. And so don't let that hold you back. If you've been with a company a couple of years, or you've been a PM for 5 years, 10, 15, it doesn't matter, because a good mentor, a good coach can take your specific situation and again, what is happening with the company and with the product, and synthesize it all to help you make the best movements for yourself and your product and company. A good mentor or coach can also give you clarity of purpose. Effectively, someone to tell you what you're actually working on, because again, similar to the accountability, you don't set yourself specific goals for your career. Usually that's just not going to happen. And a coach is uniquely and specifically focused just on that, to making sure you are setting goals that are important for you. They make sure you actually take the time to think of what is important to you. What are you doing any of this for? I've tried to sit down with myself to work through my goals. It's very difficult. It's helpful when you bounce these ideas off of somebody that can provide not just a little rationality, but also a little bit of focus back to you. Someone that tells you that it's actually okay to talk about what you want to accomplish as opposed to thinking about the next thing for the company or the next thing for the product or whatever next thing you're in the middle of. Strategy. Often there's quite a lot of that in a product manager's role, but when we as product managers think about strategy and tactics, we're usually thinking from the perspective of the product. We're not thinking from the perspective of our own careers. That's not how we tend to do these things. Usually PMs tend to own the product and tend to own the business. And because of that, they're not really thinking about what's best from a strategic perspective for their own careers. A PM trainer or coach, on the other hand, is focused uniquely on that. They know they need to help you get the product to succeed. But at the same time, they need to keep the focus, the strategic focus on your own career. I keep circling around the idea that when you're building a product in big tech companies, you don't just want to focus on making sure that product is successful. You also want to make sure that your career is successful along with it. That's part of the reason why I created this practical product management newsletter. The link is in the description below or on alexruchevsky.com. Sign up for that newsletter where I talk about practical product management insights that will help you make better products, but also advance your career meaningfully. All of it is based in reality. It's called practical product management. The tactical element is also important. By tactical, I mean specific situations that are very unique for you, your team, your product, your org, your company. Navigating the unique challenges that come up on a PM's path are much easier done when you have somebody in your corner you're discussing these problems with. Should we approach with this deck or with that deck? Should we take this strategy or that strategy? How do we deal with this particular situation? A lot of times you can ping your coach, or depending on the relationship, you can basically dissect these very specific tactical situations which could have a very outsized impact on your career. Another point is that a relationship with a product mentor is a completely different thing than a relationship with your manager. Even if you are lucky enough, or maybe you work hard enough to have a great manager that will help you with your career, that will make your job easier, that will teach you things, that will support you and empower you, it's still not the same thing. Theoretically, the best of these managers could have your best interests in mind. I certainly try to have the best interest of my team in mind whenever I work, but at the same time, it's still different than the relationship that you would have with your mentor in whom you confide and who only and exclusively has your best interests in mind. So where should you get a mentor? So look for inside your company, first of all. Depending on how big your company is, there's a lot of folks that want to help others, that want to share their skills or their expertise. Look for those opportunities within your org, within your team. Ideally, like I said, this should be outside of your team if possible, but in your company so that they understand how things are done. So look for that. Secondly, on LinkedIn and on social networks, you can find a lot of other folks that are willing to provide office hours where you can check in with them. Sometimes this could be folks that are even more junior than you are in product, but they have a particular set of expertise. Or it could be more senior folks that are trying out the mentorship path. And if you've identified some people that you want to potentially have as your mentor or as your coach, then just reach out and let them know that you'd love to chat for 15 minutes to ask some questions about a product management career. Presumably there's a reason why you would like to work with this person, so just reach out and tell them that you liked a particular piece of writing or particular content that you found online, and let them know that you'd love to chat for 15 minutes just about the general product management career path. And there you could ask a few questions, and then at the end of that conversation you could actually ask and find out if it would be possible to work with that person for a coaching, if they've ever coached before, if they'd be interested in becoming your mentor. I recommend a relationship of 3 months at the minimum, ideally 6 months, in order to really give you a chance to get to know one another and to meaningfully progress and have an impact on your career and on the products that you build. And before you ask, yes, I am available for coaching. However, I only work with about 8 clients at a time because I only have a certain amount of time that I can dedicate to working with folks, although it's one of my favorite things to help people on a very individual level. So if you're interested in growing your product career and skills with me as your product coach, thank you very much. I'm very humbled, but also please fill out a few questions below and I will let you know when spots open up. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to smash the like button. That never gets old. And also make sure you are subscribed to alexruchevsky.com. We are building a community, so I want to know if you're interested in that. There's also a few other videos for you to check out. Please make sure to do so. And if you have any other questions at all, please feel free to drop a comment, as I do read and respond to as many comments as I can. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. First of all, thank you very much. I'm very humbled. But second of all, the link is in the description. The link is in the description below. The link is in the description below.